Yesterday, we had a slate of NFL preseason games, and man, there's a lot of things to talk about. Did the Steelers get a first glimpse of their QB of the future? Hold on now. And then we got to talk about Fernando Mendoza's great first impression. And I'm here to tell y'all, Jeremiyah Love is for real. And then we got to talk about the Detroit Lions. They had a rough day on the operational side. Is it something to worry about? It is preseason. But hey, before we talk about it and break it all down, y'all already know you gotta hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, football fans, and welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, joined by Steve-O. We're on our road to 1K, so you could easily support the channel by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. This is the place where all football fans can come and talk a little smack for the sake of the love of the game. Steve-O, what's the word?
What's the word, buddy?
Drew Aller is not one. I always screw it up. You say, what's the word? I give you more than one. But nonetheless,
Drew
hey, the Steelers, hey, they had themselves a decent preseason game. Well, better than decent. I say it was pretty damn good. You got a glimpse of Will Howard. He looked all right. Drew Aller looked really damn good. And the Pittsburgh Steelers got themselves a win yesterday, 28-9 over Green Bay. But the guy, hey, while Will Howard, I ain't gonna overlook him. He did go 7-9 for 86 yards, but Drew Aller, 6'5", 230. He went 10-13 for 153 yards, 2 touchdowns with a rush touchdown, and I was impressed. Steve-O, how you feel about Drew Aller's performance? And did the Steelers, how should the Steelers feel looking at the possible QB of the future?
I mean, he showed all the tools of why he was listed as a Heisman candidate and early on possibly a top round pick before everything went to shit the last few years at Penn State. But yeah, he showed that he had a strong arm. He showed that he had some accuracy. He showed that he was able to protect the ball because he didn't turn the ball over. He showed that he's more athletic than people understand that he is, able to extend plays at times, step up in the pocket, maneuver around. And he showed that not only that, he was well experienced as well, because one of his cons going through majority of his time in Penn State was processing. And quite frankly, I seen him go through a lot of progressions yesterday for the most part, and it was nice. Not too many times, but the times that I did see, I was highly impressed. So yeah, like he's the like you said, with him being 6'5", 230, he's already the prototype type of frame for a QB. Got the strong arm. He just got to put everything together. So it was nice to see. Quite frankly, to everybody on the QB side played well. Mason Rudolph was 10 for 11. Will Howard 7 for 9. Very efficient night for everybody. So yeah, everybody fighting for a job because they know Aaron is on his way out.
For sure, man. I was really, really impressed with Drew Aller, bro. Just looking at him maneuvering out of the pocket, like you mentioned, rolling left, being accurate, rolling right, being accurate, and even getting himself a rushing touchdown yesterday. And Steve-O, I gotta call myself to the front. I was going off on the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason for waiting on Aaron Rodgers. But now I got to recant that statement for this reason and this reason only. Drew Aller getting to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a season, that's the game plan. That's the plan that a lot of people want, and somehow they never really do it. You only see a few examples here and there, but a lot of times the team say, yeah, we want him to sit, but then they insert the quarterback. The Steelers literally, barring injury, can literally just say, Drew Aller, sit the hell down for this season. You're going to learn, and you will be ready next season with Aaron Rodgers in hell. Mason Rudolph. You can let them two go out there and take the beating, and then have this kid come in next season and be ready to go. But I was really, really impressed, bro.
Definitely. Like I said, I've seen his signs. He was at Penn State, so he played in some high-profile games. He won some big games in Penn State, so I'm just glad he's showing that he can put it together. He's showing that he's coachable, And yeah, I think that's the proper steps. Unless they got other feelings versus Will Howard. Me personally, I always thought that between the two, Drew Aller is probably the better quarterback. Will Howard just was on the better team. So yeah, but anything can happen in a year span. Will can get better. Drew can get better. Hell, Mason can make sure he can become Mr. Undeniable. So we shall see.
We absolutely will see, man. Steve-O, I was looking out for a running back that was in the draft a couple like a year prior to this year's draft. Caleb Johnson, man. I was not really a big fan, but I did not count him out entering the NFL. I don't know where he's gonna go from here, bro. I don't know where he's gonna go from here. You know, I love my running backs. I like talking running backs, but that was one thing I was like, where's he at? They was not a fan. I think he only had like 2 rushes on the day. Like what?
I
Yeah,
don't
it
even
was
see
crazy.
him at all.
Yeah, but they did have Indiana's running back out there for the Steelers, and he made a couple plays too. Caught himself a touchdown as well. So, hey, it's gonna be interesting. But I think the pairing of Drew Aller, last point, the pairing of Drew Aller with Mike McCarthy, it might be what's good for the Pittsburgh Steelers for real, because
Mhm.
parity with McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, that's gonna be something that we're gonna be watching. But the future of McCarthy and possibly Aller or Will Howard, I ain't gonna count him out, is definitely something we're gonna be talking about over the course of the season, and definitely an early look to next offseason if they're gonna allow those 2 guys to duke it out in the QB battle. Because Aaron Rodgers is done after this.
For sure. 100%.
So, but now we move on to Vegas. Hey, I talked to my cousin about Vegas. She said, boy, this strip. So he said the Vegas strip, they out there to get you.
I heard.
But one thing we can't deny that was in Vegas is that Fernando Mendoza, he had a good showing. It showed why he went number one to the Raiders. And Steve-O had himself an impressive day. 10 to 16, 97 yards with a touchdown. How do you feel about Fernando's Mendoza introduction into the NFL?
Yeah, I felt like it was a great preview of what we can see later on in his career. Most importantly, I love that it almost felt like a combine setup, like a pro day setup, because he worked on everything that everybody felt like he needed to work on. His best throw was was under center, play action, strike right down the middle between 2 defenders.
What? It was
That's
crazy.
nasty. And that's what they was asking for. And the next process, and the next thing, what I was mostly impressed of, he was out there reading coverages, going through progressions. 1, 2, 3, let it go. 1, 2, let it go. 1, let it go. He was very decisive. Everything he's been at Cal and Indiana. So yeah, it just didn't look like the game was too fast for him.
Yeah, and I think the Raiders did a good job with putting the pieces in place. You get yourself a smart center in Tyler Linderbaum. You get yourself a smart stopgap quarterback in Kirk Cousins. You get yourself a smart play caller. You have
Mhm.
Tom Brady in the facility. So you have this infrastructure around Fernando Mendoza that can help him elevate. He was already looked at as a brilliant and intelligent young man. So now you establishing and putting all these guys around him, good football minds. It's only up from here if they continue to build this thing out, and who knows what's to come for the Raiders. But Steve-O, to the point of when you talked about the progression of Fernando Mendoza, he took a sack in the red zone, but you got to look at the whole thing in its totality. He went through 3 progressions and nothing was open.
You know,
He 1, 2, 3, nothing's open. He tried to escape, he got caught. But I think that's you could take some positives out of that. Obviously, you don't want to take sacks in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? But on a positive side, you want to see this young quarterback go through his progressions, and he did that. So
Yep.
I think that was a very good point that you made about him going through his progressions and really just getting the ball out. The man, and definitely continue to work on that under center. It looks solid right now, and it's only going to get better from here. He did well in, you know what I'm saying, in that department. So that tells me that he's been working on it a lot. And Steve-O, we're talking about running backs. Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. Yeah, I know it's Arkansas, y'all. Relax. But out of Arkansas. Out of Arkansas, bro. 6 rushes, 63 yards for Mike Washington Jr. I think that's gonna be a good 1-2 punch monster with Ashton
And
Genty
he
in that
big, folks.
Raiders backfield, bro. And
And
he
it's
is a big boy.
that's gonna be very irritating to go up against, especially with Ashton is like he's like a elite, he's like a elusive bruiser. He can get away from you, but he ain't scared of contact either. So you got two people that is not scared of contact, but Buddy was balling. Like I think he had 10 yards a carry.
Bro, that's crazy.
He was going off.
Oh, the real, what they be doing on Madden?
Oh, my mama.
That was a couple runs from Mike Washington Jr., man. I think he went up that A or that B gap and he and then bounced that thing outside. Boy, crispy. I'm like, yeah. He did have a fumbling problem in college that some teams were wondering about. I'm pretty sure that the coaching staff has definitely been working on with him on that. And I think that's gonna be a 1-2 punch coming out of that Clint Kubiak rushing attack for Ashton Genty and Mike Washington Jr. The Raiders, look, I'm not predicting the Raiders making it to the playoffs, but they're gonna get some people.
They ain't gonna be bad. I don't think
they're gonna get some people some fight this year, bro. For real.
I don't think they're gonna be bad at all.
For sure. And Steve-O, on the opposite side of that matchup with Fernando Mendoza, we got to see another
Oh, my mama.
out of Jeremiyah Love from Arizona. Look, man, hey, came out with a couple Texas routes out of the backfield, catching it, running through some people. Definitely gonna learn how to, you know what I'm saying, shake a little people a little bit better, keep his balance. But I think he for real, bro. Definitely in line to be one of the next great running backs. How you feel about Jeremiyah Love performance yesterday?
They line suck, but you can't tell. But you couldn't tell with him. Like bro was making the fact that he was making 2-yard 3 games out of the lanes he was getting was just shows you this preseason game already showed me like you can see ahead of time. This is why he's a high draft pick and running back, because every running back can't make a negative out of a positive. Bijan's, Ashton Genty's, Helms, people like that, they can do that. And that's why they get pick high. And he had I think total yards, he had 78 yards total. And that's including receiving. He finished with like 50 something on the ground, something like that.
He gonna be fighting for y'all.
It's gonna be Ashton Genty all over again.
I was just about
that's
to
literally what I was watching, and I was like, bro, this is not like Ashton Genty, bro.
Real. Ashton Genty last year struggling behind that offensive line. Staley damn near eclipsed the K. So, but Jeremiyah Love, I agree to that point, bro. The great running backs know how to, you know what I'm saying, have that patience and really stretch out some defenses a little bit to pick up some additional yards that wasn't originally there for them to have. And I agree with you, bro. The offensive line definitely got to get some things together. Mike LaFleur, not Matt, is the coach over there. He going to have to scheme some stuff up. Yeah, he going to have to scheme some stuff up and to where they could be able to hold their own. He did scheme some stuff up on the offensive side. They had themselves a really good game moving the ball down the field. They had Marvin Harrison Jr. had a sight in Steve-O.
Hi.
On the real. There you are, buddy. Come on. Where you at?
Keep it up.
No real. But I think Jeremiyah Love is definitely in line to be one of the next great running backs. Obviously, you might not see it in year one. Well, I think you will see some glimpses of it, but I don't think you really gonna get that Bijan effect, that Saquon effect until you improve this offensive line, like you mentioned, bro, because they were struggling a little bit.
It was bad.
They were struggling a little bit. But hey, man, before we get up out of here, Steve-O, we're going to switch gears and talk about the Lions. They did lose their preseason game versus the Bengals. The Bengals did play their ones for 2 series in that game. It had social media freaking out because Joe Burrow was sacked. Had them going crazy. But the Lions had a rough day on offense, bro. They threw 2 interceptions. Luke Altmaier threw 2 interceptions, and the team accumulated 9 penalties, which is understandable. It's only preseason. But how rough was it, or was it rough at all for the Lions offensive operation?
It was definitely shaky and rough for the most part. Like I said, you wanted to get it out now. You want to see what you're working with. But this is a product of a lot of new stuff, a lot of new coaches coming in, a lot of new players. And like you said, they're dealing with a lot of injuries as well. So they we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with certain things, this, that, and the third. But yeah, that was just the biggest takeaway. It was definitely penalties, and protection. I would say penalties and protection. It did have a nice little showing from their rookie, their D line rookie. I think he had like 2 sacks. So that was a nice thing to see. But yeah, I don't think it's nothing to completely panic about. But if you see it, I see if you constantly see 9 plus 8 plus 6 6 7 plus penalties for every game of the preseason, then I'm gonna start to get worried.
For sure. I think that's a valid point. Obviously, it is preseason, so we go take it with a grain of salt because number one, Jared Goff wasn't there, so we know it's going to be a little bit more cleaner with him out there. We do have to keep in mind that this is a new system. So we're going to be watching closely because last year I was told by Detroit Lions fans that Johnny Morton was going to be better than Ben Johnson because it was Dan Campbell's system, and we found out that not to be true. I'm not counting Drew Petzing out until I actually see him play. But that's something that we're going to be monitoring for the Detroit Lions ahead of this season and during the season. How does Drew Petzing get this talented group on the offensive side to push the ball down the field and put up points, especially with injuries on that offensive line now? Your center, he's gone. And you're now building this thing back up. Your best offensive lineman has now moved to the left tackle spot in Penei Sewell. So we're going to be watching the Lions offense really, really closely, especially because they have an easy ass schedule too. So if this season goes to crap with this easy schedule, hey, the seat gonna start heating up for Dan Campbell. I ain't gonna lie.
Ain't nothing to say. Ain't nothing to say about that. It's already pretty hot. It's pretty warm right now.
Yeah. Detroit, they love him, and rightfully so, because he brought the Detroit Lions back to relevancy. And I think that he a crazy mofo, and sometimes you need to be crazy and bite kneecaps. I hope y'all get the pun. But nonetheless, I think that he is the appropriate coach for them. But you definitely got to make sure that your operation is still flowing, you know what I'm saying, the way that it needs to be flowing, especially after some really, really tough playoff losses throughout his tenure, man. Y'all, they had some really good staple wins, but they had some really tough, gut-punching playoff losses. So we're going to be watching them. We're going to be watching.
Definitely going to be watching.
For sure. But hey, man, it was a good night of preseason.
Got
more preseason today. Go to real and over the weekend. No preseason games on Sunday, but hey, it's gonna be a fun Friday and Saturday. Hey, Steve, I did watch catch a little of that Chargers game. That man Mike McDaniels. I was watching more specifically the rush game. He bringing all them shifts, motions, and misdirections all over to the Chargers. And if Omarion Hampton can get right, that run game gonna be a problem.
Definitely. And speaking of motherfuckers named Mike, I don't know if you've been watching Mike McDonald and his damn HBO series, but that motherfucker gangster. That motherfucker said, I don't give a damn what you can keep bitching all you want. This my motherfucking practice. I said, oh shit, that's why they won a championship right there.
Real Mike McDonald definitely put one of his best players in check. And that's them the type of coaches you want to play for, man. Sometimes I get out of line.
You too close.
Oh, the real, because the first time he was like, "Hey man, watch that quarterback." and then I forget the pass rusher's name, but he get close again. Man, Mike McDonald went off.
I mean, motherfucker, you too close.
Get him out of here. On the real, get him out of here.
This is my goddamn practice.
On the real.
See, yeah. See, I need. See, that's why I need the McCaskies to get the fuck on. And I know Big Johnson got a couple of them moments.
Can the Bears get a retry at Hard Knocks?
That shit was ass, bro. My mama, that shit was ass, bro.
Hey,
that fucking PG-13 is HBO.
Real, what? But hey, man. That is it from us today, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode, man. Before y'all get up out of here, ensure that you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is a place for all football fans, regardless of the team that you root for. We here to talk smack and talk football for the sake and the love of the game. But hey, man, support the channel the easiest way possible. Hit that like button and subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you always love football. And y'all already know we're going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.